Welcome back. Let's continue. Let's wrap up our lesson for today. Let's recap from the concept map. We started with angles formed by perpendicular lines. We looked at angles that were formed by intersecting lines. We also looked at angles that were formed by parallel lines. New words that we had today were, the first word was perpendicular lines, which is two lines that form a right angle when they intersect. And we referred to something you can always remember, a side junction on a road that joins another, and it joins it at 90 degrees. So the key word there was right angle, which is 90 degrees. Intersecting lines are lines that cross over each other. And as they cross, sometimes they make an angle of 90 degrees. And when they do that, they become perpendicular lines. But then, for argument's sake, let's look at the clock on the right. I've got three arms there. I've got the second arm, I've got the minute arm, and I've got the hour arm. If you look at those three lines, you would see that the second arm and the hour arm intersect. However, the minute arm and the hour arm intersect at 90 degrees. Because these ones are intersecting at 90 degrees, they are therefore referred to as perpendicular lines. Then we also looked at adjacent angles, and we said they are next to one another, divided by a single line, and they have a common point or a common vertex, a point where they all meet. Like in that pizza, we said the center was the vertex, and the angles that were formed there and the angle that was formed there, these two pieces of pizza, I'll mark them with those circles. Those two pieces are next to one another, so they are adjacent, and they're divided by one line in between them, and they have a common point where they both begin, or they both meet, sorry. Supplementary angles, two or more angles that add up to 180, and we said you can look at it from any different angle. We can look at it from even this angle here. There is an angle of 90 degrees there. There is an angle of 90 degrees there. We add those two and we get 180 degrees. So those are words that we now know what they mean. Just an error that usually happens. Please remember that angles only become equal when the lines that are cut by a transversal are parallel. So do not relate to corresponding angles as equal unless you have been given either a marking or in the sentence it is stated that the lines are parallel. Then you know that those corresponding angles or the alternate angles are going to be equal. Let's look at a challenge for today. Just add a new marking there to make sure that I have two arrows here and there, and I have single arrows there. So that means the lines that are vertical or almost vertical are parallel to each other, and the two lines that are horizontal are also parallel. So it's two sets of parallel lines. And you have angle X and angle Y. You are to determine the interior angles and label them as X and Y. And then what kind of quadrilateral is in the diagram. When you have labeled them and you look at the center and you see that there is a quadrilateral there, quadrilateral means, quad means four, so it's a shape that has four sides. And you then complete angle X plus angle Y plus whatever you find, then when you add them, then they give you 360 degrees. That would be a statement you can make and say, because I've added X and Y and that angle and that angle, the outcome there gave me 360 degrees. Therefore, the angles of a quad would be equal to this. We'll take it from there when we speak about that. For now, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed our lesson for today. Goodbye.